My name is Luca, and I kept a journal for 3 years. It wasn't just a diary, it was my business incubator, therapy outlet, and dream repository all in one. I documented every idea for my tech startup, every strategy session, every market analysis. I also wrote about my anxiety, my therapy sessions, my struggles with imposter syndrome. It was private, sacred even, until my sister Maya found it. Luca, can we talk? Maya appeared in my apartment doorway one Tuesday evening, holding a manila folder. Sure, what's up? I was reviewing code on my laptop. She sat down across from me, that same smile she'd had since we were kids. I've been thinking about starting a business. Tech consulting. What do you think? That's great. What kind of consulting? AI integration for small businesses, helping them automate workflows, implement chatbots, that sort of thing. She watched my face carefully. My stomach dropped. That was my concept, word for word from my journal entries. That's oddly specific. Where'd you get that idea? Just something I've been thinking about, she shrugged. You know me, always the entrepreneur. Maya had never shown interest in tech. She worked in marketing for a pharmaceutical company. When did you develop this interest in AI? Recently. Actually, I wanted to ask if you'd invest. I need about $50,000 to get started. $50,000? I closed my laptop. Maya, that's a huge ask. I'm your sister. I thought you'd support me. Her voice had an edge now. I do support you, but I need to see a business plan, market research. Forget it. She stood abruptly. I should have known you'd be jealous. Jealous? Of what? That I came up with a brilliant idea before you did. She walked toward the door. That's when I noticed my journal wasn't on my nightstand where I always kept it. Maya, have you been in my room? Your room? Luca, we're adults. Don't be paranoid. She left, but her defensiveness told me everything. I searched everywhere. My journal was gone. The next morning, my business partner David called. Dude, have you seen this? Seen what? Your sister just posted on LinkedIn about her new AI consulting startup. She's using our exact business model. The 3-tier service package, the industry-specific customization, even the pricing structure we spent months developing. I pulled up her profile. There it was. MindBridge AI Solutions, launching next month. Every detail came straight from my journal. That's not even the worst part, David continued. She's telling people you're unstable. Someone forwarded me a message where she said you've been struggling with severe mental health issues, and that's why you haven't launched yet. My hands shook. She'd read my therapy notes, my private struggles with anxiety, and now she was weaponizing them. We need to do something, David said. I know exactly what we need to do. I was already Googling intellectual property lawyers. She thought finding my journal would be harmless. She has no idea what she just started. I called my mom first. Sarah, we need to talk about Maya. What's wrong? My mother's concern was immediate. She stole my business concept, and she's been in my apartment going through my personal things. Luca, that's a serious accusation. Mom, she announced a business using my exact ideas. Ideas I've been developing for 2 years. They were in my journal, which is now missing. There was a long pause. Your journal? The one you've been keeping? Yes, she took it from my apartment. Oh, Luca. My mother sighed heavily. She was at your place last month when you went to that conference. She mentioned finding something interesting to read. And you didn't think to tell me? I didn't know she meant your journal. She made it sound like she borrowed a book. My mother's voice cracked. What has she done with the information? I explained everything. The stolen business model, her spreading rumors about my mental health, the LinkedIn announcement. That's beyond inappropriate. I don't even have words. My mother was quiet for a moment. What do you need from me? Honestly? A witness. And maybe you can talk to her, see if she'll admit what she did. I'll do better than that. I'm calling her right now and putting her on speaker with both of us. 10 minutes later, Maya's voice came through my mother's phone. Hey, Mom, what's up? Maya, I have Luca here too. We need to discuss your new business. Oh, this should be good. Maya's sarcasm was sharp. I jumped in. Where did you get the idea for MindBridge AI? I already told you. It's my concept. Really? Because it's identical to what I've been developing, down to the pricing tiers. Maybe we just think alike, she laughed. Great minds, you know? Did you take my journal from my apartment? I asked directly.
The line went silent for 3 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maya Elizabeth, my mother used her full name. Did you go through your brother's belongings? I was looking for a book he mentioned. I saw the journal. I flipped through it. You flipped through it? I couldn't believe she was admitting it. And then you stole my entire business concept? It was just sitting there. Ideas aren't property, Luca. Actually, a new voice entered the conversation. I'd connected my lawyer, Michael Chen, who I'd briefed before the call. Ideas documented in written form with timestamps can be considered intellectual property, and unauthorized entry to obtain those documents is theft. Who is this? Maya demanded. Michael Chen, Mr. Rossi's attorney. I'd advise you to stop talking, Ms. Rossi. This is insane. Mom, are you hearing this? My mother's voice was cold. I'm hearing that you stole from your brother and violated his privacy. Then you used his personal medical information to slander him professionally. I didn't slander anyone. David sent me screenshots as we talked. Maya, I'm looking at messages you sent to potential clients telling them I'm too unstable to run a business. You referenced my anxiety, my therapy sessions, information that was only in my journal. I was just being honest about concerns. That's defamation, Michael interjected, and potentially a HIPAA-adjacent violation since you're disclosing private health information. You can't sue me. I'm your sister. Watch me, I said quietly. Mr. Rossi has documentation of his concept development dating back 2 years, Michael continued. We have his journal backups. He photographed pages monthly for his therapist. We can prove these ideas originated with him. I'd started that habit after my therapist suggested it for tracking my progress. Thank God. Maya, return Luca's journal immediately, my mother ordered, and shut down that business announcement. No, I've already secured 3 clients. With his concept, David added, which means any contracts you signed are fraudulent. This is my family ganging up on me, Maya shouted. This is your family trying to stop you from committing multiple crimes, Michael said. We're filing a cease and desist tomorrow. If you don't comply, we'll pursue criminal charges for theft and civil charges for defamation and intellectual property infringement. The cease and desist hit Maya's inbox at 9 a.m. the next morning. By noon, she was calling me. Luca, please, can we talk about this reasonably? Return my journal. Shut down MindBridge. Retract your statements about my mental health. Then we'll talk. I can't just shut it down. I have clients expecting services based on my stolen work. That's fraud, Maya. Why are you being so vindictive? I laughed bitterly. Vindictive? You stole my journal, my private thoughts, my business plans, my therapy notes, and you're asking why I'm upset? I didn't think you'd actually do anything with those ideas. You're always writing stuff down and never following through. There it was, the real reason. She thought I was too weak, too anxious, too broken to succeed. So she'd take what was mine. Michael, are you recording this? I asked. Every word, my lawyer confirmed on the other line. You're recording me? Maya shrieked. California is a 2-party consent state for private conversations, Michael said calmly. But you're aware you're being recorded now, and you haven't hung up, so anything you say from this point is admissible. This is entrapment. It's really not, David chimed in. But it is you admitting you took his ideas because you didn't think he'd use them. Maya hung up. That afternoon, my private investigator, recommended by Michael, called with interesting news. Mr. Rossi, your sister made copies of 17 pages from your journal. She took photos with her phone. Her cloud backup is timestamped from last month, the same week your mother mentioned she was at your apartment. Can we access those? We can subpoena them, but there's more. She used your exact wording in her client proposals. I mean, word for word, passages from your journal. She didn't even paraphrase. That's copyright infringement too, Michael noted. We filed the lawsuit 2 days later. Theft of intellectual property, defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Maya showed up at my apartment that evening, my journal in hand. Here, take it back. Can we drop this now? No. Luca, please, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. You made multiple calculated decisions. You entered my home without permission, stole my property, read my private medical information, used it to damage my reputation, and launched a business on my work. That's not a mistake. I'm your sister. My sister wouldn't have done any of this. I took the journal. See you in court, Maya.
The conference room at Michael's law firm was sleek and modern. Maya sat across from us with her hastily hired lawyer, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Let's begin. Michael opened his folder. Ms. Rossi, we have substantial evidence of your theft and subsequent actions. The photos on your cloud account, timestamped and geotagged to Mr. Rossi's apartment. The LinkedIn messages spreading false information about his mental health. The client proposals using his copyrighted material verbatim. Maya's lawyer whispered to her. She nodded. We're prepared to make this go away. I'm listening, I said. Maya will shut down MindBridge, issue a public retraction of any statements about your mental health, and pay restitution for therapy costs related to this violation of your privacy. How much restitution? Michael asked. $5,000. I laughed. No. Luca, Maya started. You stole 2 years of my work. You used my private struggles with anxiety and depression as weapons. You tried to destroy my reputation before I could even launch. $5,000 doesn't cover my therapy bills for the PTSD you've caused. PTSD? Her lawyer looked skeptical. Your client violated the sanctity of her brother's home and his most private thoughts, Michael stated. She then weaponized his mental health struggles in a professional context. Yes, PTSD is a reasonable response. David leaned forward. She also contacted our potential investors. We lost a $200,000 funding opportunity because of her lies. You can't prove that's why, Maya's lawyer began. We have emails, David interrupted. One investor specifically cited concerns about Luca's stability based on information Maya provided, information that came only from that journal. Maya put her head in her hands. Here's our counteroffer, Michael said. Full public apology on all platforms where defamatory statements were made. Cease and desist from any business using these concepts for 5 years. $100,000 in damages, $50,000 for defamation, $50,000 for theft of intellectual property. And she signs an NDA preventing her from ever disclosing the personal information she obtained from the journal. $100,000? That's outrageous! It's actually quite reasonable, Michael replied, given that we're not pursuing criminal charges for burglary and theft. Burglary? Maya's lawyer paled. She entered his residence without permission and removed property, Michael explained. In California, that's burglary. We have her admission on recording that she entered the apartment and took the journal. Maya started crying. I can't pay that. I don't have that kind of money. You have a 401k, a home with equity, and a well-paying job, David noted. You'll figure it out. My mother entered the conference room then. I'd asked her to come for the final part. Maya, stop crying and listen to me. Mom, they're destroying me. No, you destroyed yourself. My mother sat beside me. When Luca was diagnosed with anxiety disorder, I watched him struggle. I watched him go to therapy every week, document his progress, fight to build a life despite his challenges. That journal was his lifeline, and you violated it. I didn't know it was that important. You knew exactly how important it was. That's why you used it against him. My mother's voice was steel. You will accept their terms. You will pay the damages, and you will never speak of what you read in that journal again. Or what? Maya challenged. Or I'll testify at your criminal trial about how you told me you found something interesting at his apartment. How you bragged about your business idea being so brilliant. How you laughed when I said it sounded similar to Luca's work. My mother pulled out her phone. I've been documenting every conversation we've had since this started. Maya's lawyer whispered urgently to her. She wiped her eyes and nodded. Fine. I accept your terms. Say it clearly, Michael instructed. I accept the terms. I'll pay $100,000, issue a public apology, cease any business using these concepts, and sign the NDA. Michael slid the settlement agreement across the table. Sign here, here, and here. As Maya signed, David turned to me. How do you feel? Honestly, relieved. She could have destroyed everything I worked for. But she didn't, my mother said softly, because you fought back the right way. After Maya and her lawyer left, Michael shook my hand. The apology goes live tomorrow. The money will be wired within 30 days per the agreement. And if she violates any terms, we can reopen criminal proceedings. What about the clients she signed? I asked. We're contacting them directly. They have the option to work with you instead, using the legitimate version of these services. 3 have already expressed interest. David grinned. So she actually did us a favor. Free market research and client leads.
Don't give her that much credit, I laughed. My mother hugged me. I'm sorry I didn't take you seriously at first. I should have known she was capable of this. You helped when it mattered most. That's what counts. What are you going to do now? She asked. Launch MindBridge AI the right way, under my name, with my team, using the concepts I developed over 2 years of hard work. I held up my journal. And maybe invest in a safe. Luca? Maya's voice came from the doorway. She'd come back. I really am sorry. I don't accept your apology, I said clearly. What you did was unforgivable. You don't get to violate someone's deepest privacy and expect forgiveness. But we're family. Family doesn't do what you did. Sign the papers, pay the money, and stay out of my life. She left without another word. David clapped my shoulder. You okay? Yeah, I am. And surprisingly, I meant it. 3 months later, I launched MindBridge AI properly. The business took off. Turned out my ideas were pretty solid after all. Maya's public apology had actually generated sympathy and interest in my work. The settlement money funded my first year of operations. She paid every cent she owed. She never contacted me again. My journal now sits in a locked drawer, but I barely need it anymore. I learned something important through all of this. I'm stronger than my anxiety ever made me believe. Strong enough to fight for what's mine. Strong enough to stand up to family when they wrong me. Strong enough to win. Have you ever had someone violate your privacy and use your own words against you? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.